Yeah, this is going to be I think this is going to be a great race here, especially within the top three athletes here out of the semifinals. That's going to be Triads United, Calvin Harkey, Miami Rowing Club's Antonio Saviano, and Miami Rowing Club's Daniel McLaughlin. The fastest time out of the semifinals here is going to be Miami's Antonio Saviano with a 7:32, and then followed by the next two, which is going to be again Triad and Miami, who both pulled a 7:37, and so I think we're going to see some tight racing, especially with the top three crews.
Yep, definitely. Racing is underway here. They look to be in their high strokes, that first 250. But I will say that, it's really tough to compare times across days and even across races because, as we saw yesterday, conditions can change, mid race. So it's very, very tough to say who's going to win this race. Looks like we've got a few early leaders here, but, nothing too big. Looks like a pretty close pack. Again, some close racing here as they pass that first 500.
Yeah, what we just saw passing through, that was going to be our lane 8, Miami Beaches, Mariano Martinez. Again, with the angle of this camera here, it's very, very hard to tell who's leading the pack here. But again, it looks like they're going to be all within striking distance, at least within the first 3 minutes of this race.
Yep, looks like on your screen here you have lane 7 and lane 6. That'll be Fernando from South Orlando and Daniil from Miami Rowing B. As you can see, it takes a lot of finesse in these singles. You've got to get that blade placement. And then, you can, if you look across their bows, you can really displace the boat a lot with your weight. So they're doing a great job staying right on top of that water, reducing as much friction as they can. Some lovely rowing out of these singles today.
And I want to see possibly what we're seeing here is Miami Rowing Club's Antonio Saviano maybe leading the pack here slightly. We'll be able to get a better picture shortly.
Looks like they're rolling through that 1,000-meter mark right now, making their way into that third 500. This is what a lot of people call the pain cave.
It's when that lactic acid starts settling in. When you feel it in your legs, feel it in your arms. And again, with the single scull, you really don't have anybody else in the boat with you. And so everything, all that mental toughness lays down on you. There's nobody you can rely on for you. You either win it yourself or you lose it yourself. It's the beauty of being in a single scull. And right now, are passing through that we're passing through that the third 500 now, and we are seeing a little bit of separation. Again, that third 500, kind of separates, the dogs from the dog food at this point. And right now, it looks like our leader is going to be. That looks like it's going to be our lane 5, Miami Rowing Club's Antonio Saviano. And it looks like he has created not well open word. I didn't even see there is a top boat that's going to be in your lane 8. Coming out, the dark horse, Miami Beaches, Mariano Martinez, applying that pressure to our leader, Miami Rowing Club's Antonio Saviano.
Yep, and it looks like that third place spot right now is being held by Calvin from Triad in lane 4. But again, these single scullers, it's all themselves. It's very individual. There's also no erg screen. So, sitting up in that lane 8, Mariano has no idea, what speed he's going as he's coming through that last 500. He just knows he's trying to get out ahead. He has no idea how far ahead Saviano is. No idea, many lanes over in lane 4 where Calvin is. Looks like Saviano is widening up that gap just a little bit here as he gets ready for his sprint coming into that last 400. But it looks like we have a push from Calvin at Triad trying to take on that second place position in this final.
Yep, and it looks like, again, we have a push. Miami Rowing Club is just putting that nail in the coffin, entering into that last 250 meters of the race. But it looks like we're going to have a battle paddle between Triads Calvin Harcray and Miami Beach Mariano Martinez. We love a dark horse. We really do. In that lane 8, that's going to be your slowest time and out of the semifinals. But right now, he is demonstrating that those numbers in the semifinals are just a number, and this is where it counts.
Yep, and again, to reiterate, out of the semis, you race for lanes, but there's a top 3 or 2 for each race that make it into the final, and so it's up to the racer whether or not they want to sprint it out or they want to save a little bit of juice for that final.
And here we go, the last 200 meters of this race here. I mean, it is spicing up. I mean, we have rates 32 plus going through this last 200 meters of the race, and the third place can be any man's game at this point. We'll have the champion, lane 5. That's going to be Miami Rowing Club's Antonio Sevillano. And then for that second place spot, it is going to be lane 4. That's going to be Trias Calvin Harcray. And then in that lane is 0, or lane 8, that is going to be Miami Beach's Mariano Martinez. What a race for those top 3 crews. Wow, that dark horse, Miami Beach's Mariano Martinez. What a race. What a race. What a race. What a race.
Yep, and it looks like it was a photo finish or a very close finish between lane 6 and lane 3 for that fourth place position, but it looks like we had Daniil from Miami Rowing Club clinch that in that 4th place spot. Yep, by 0.2 of a second. Very, very close. Great racing again, picking up that boat a lot.